home is not alien to certain shortcomings. First, currently, like other medical institutions, hospitals, mental asylum is also facing the dearth of skilled medical staff. The asylum is working with the 1/3 of the capacity of the staff as required. Civil lines in the asylum need complete overhauling replacement as required. A separate rehabilitation center for men is also required. Besides above shortcomings observed, change in the mindset of the citizens of the country and social approval of persons suffering from mental disorder in the society is the need of the hour. Persons suffering from a mental disorder needs not only the warmth of the family but also the support of society. Before parting, I want to repeat a well-known saying: medicines touch physical well-being, but care and affection do overall well-being. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Very nicely said. Thank you so much. Now I would like to request Shri Devendra Kumar Singh, IAS Secretary General, National Human Rights Commission, to address the gathering with his words.
Good morning, everyone. Honorable Chairperson, Justice Arun Mishra, Chairperson of NHRC, Honorable Member Justice Mittal, Member NHRC, Honorable Member Sri Rajiv Jain, District Judge Sri Prem Narayan Singh, Commissioner of Health, Government of Madhya Pradesh, Mr. Sudham P. Khade, our Director General Health Services, Dr. Atul Goyal, Director NIMHANS, Dr. Pratima Murthy, who has joined through Zoom, our Divisional Commissioner, Sri Saxena, District Collector, other distinguished members, doctors and staff of Arogyashala, my colleague, Joint Secretary, Mr. Harish Chaudhary, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very important workshop for the NHRC, where Commission has decided to visit this center of Mansik Arogyashala. This is the first visit of a commission to this city. In addition to this, Commission will be visiting other mental hospitals as well, which are located at Agra and Ranchi. So, in this series of visits, this is the first leg where we are going to visit, inspect the facility, and have a dialogue with the relevant stakeholders. So, as part of dialogue, we have assembled today in this hall. As our the principal district judge elaborated the context and linked with the judgment of the Supreme Court, which was delivered almost about 25 years back in 1997. And a lot of development has taken place, not only in this hospital, but other hospitals as well. What we feel that any plan or scheme in the social sector, including any Mansik Arogyashala, in the context of human rights, cannot be an afterthought. And we need to take into account the issues, all issues, beforehand and incorporate in our action plan. Some of the issues have been highlighted in the report of our principal district judge, and while visiting the commission has noted various other issues and subjects as well. There was also a matter of satisfaction that many things are happening in a very satisfactory manner. At the same time, there are many patients who have been treated, but they are not able to return back to their families. We think that this should be one of our priorities, and some action plan needs to be thought of how to link them, how to facilitate them to return to their families. There are many patients where addresses are not known, and I'm thankful to our director, Arogyashala. They have prepared a very good report indicating the details of those patients where their actual addresses, their details of the relatives are not known. So it will be a humongous task to know their addresses and then to contact them and to try to provide a social network system. We hope and trust that this type of dialogue will help all the policy planners to take note of these things and to formulate an action plan. And I am thankful to the state government of Madhya Pradesh for extending a very warm welcome to the commission and to make this visit fruitful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable speech. Now I would like to request one of our eminent guests, Shri Rajiv Jain, Honorable Member, National Human Rights Commission, to enlighten the gathering with his words. Welcome, sir.
Honorable Chairperson, sir, my distinguished colleagues on the dais, senior officials, and invitees. I don't have much to say. My more distinguished colleagues would dwell more on this subject, except for the fact that I am closely connected with this subject. Personally, I belong to Agra, one of the places mentioned by my colleague, Mr. D.K. Singh. The principal judge mentioned that the Supreme Court judgment related to 3 cities. I'm connected to all the 3. I originally belong to Agra. I spent all my holidays in Gwalior during the first 20 years of my life. And my cadre is Jharkhand and I served as SP Ranchi. So, sir, to all the 3 mental institutions, I have an organic link. So, friends, I cede this space to my more distinguished colleagues to dwell more substantively on the matter. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we would like to request Mr. Justice Mahesh Mittal Kumar, Honorable Member, National Human Rights Commission, to address the gathering with his words. Welcome, sir.
Honorable the Chair of Mr. Justice Harun Mishra, National Human Rights Commission, my distinguished colleague, Mr. Rajiv Jain, Member, National Human Rights Commission, Shri D.K. Singh, Secretary General, National Human Rights Commission, District Judge, Joint Secretary, National Human Rights Commission, all distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is the first time that the National Human Rights Commission, on account of the efforts made by our distinguished chairperson, Justice Mishra, is taking round of all mental health institutions. Directions by the Supreme Court on 11/11/1997 were given 25 years ago, and the results of those directions is not the what I personally speaking I would expect. Lot has been done. Yesterday we visited the mental home, which is the only one in the state. It has 250 patients with a capacity of 210, and the building is very old, 1930, built in 1935, renovated sometime in 90s. The facilities, as have been pointed out, against 24 doctors, only 8 doctors are functioning. The supporting staff is also very low. When you have a state level mental health institution, expectations are much more. It is going to be a teaching hospital. A postgraduate MD seats are being given to this hospital. So the building, the staff has to be brought up to the proper level. A lot has to be done. I think with the intervention of chairperson, National Human Rights Commission, we look forward to achieving many more milestones. The Mental Healthcare Act in 2017 has been enacted by the Parliament, and it concedes setting up of a state authority. And state authority has been established in the state of MP, luckily, in the year 2020, September 2020, and the board also has been constituted. But the functions of the board, if you read section 55, those functions have to be performed to the satisfaction of the expectation of the Supreme Court. Section 55 says, register all mental health establishment in the state and maintain and publish the register of such establishments. That is the first. And we have been told by Shri Sudham Khade that they are in the process of, and in a month's time, it will be achieved. The second, develop quality and service provision norms for different types of mental health establishment in the state. So quality and service provision norms, those has to be developed. 3, supervise all mental health establishment in the state and receive complaints about deficiencies in the provision of services. 4, register clinical psychologists, mental health nurses, psychiatric social workers in the state to work as mental health professionals and publish the list of such registered mental health professionals in such manner as may be specified by regulation. 5th, train all relevant persons, including law enforcement officials, mental health professionals, and other health professionals about the provisions and implementation of this act. Discharge such other functions which are required. So if we see section 55, some of these functions, because the registration process is the first step which is going on. The other steps are to follow, So let us make tremendous efforts to achieve, to perform all the functions which are statutorily imposed on the state authority. Then meetings of the authority has to be trimester, every 3 months. Only then we can provide for the rights of the mental health care, the mental patient. From section 18 to 28, there are 10 sections which provide for the rights of person with mental illness. First is right to access mental health care. Right to access. So we have to provide access to the person with mental illness. Right to community living, which is a big challenge. Right to community living, section 19 says so. Right to protection from cruel, inhuman and degrading treatment. There is a prejudice against the person with mental illness in the society. Even today, it is not considered like a common cold or common illness. It is considered a stigma. Therefore, section 20 specifically provides right to protection from cruel, inhuman and degrading treatment. 21, right to equality and non-discrimination. 22, right to information. 23, right to confidentiality. 24, restriction on release of information in respect of mental illness. 25, right to access to medical records. Right to personal contacts and communication. Right to legal aid. Right to make complaints about deficiency in provision of services. If you keep reading this act, it has so much to say, so much to achieve. I think we are miles away. We have basic minimum presently, as far as I could see yesterday. We have beautiful place. We can build it up. I don't want to say it, but it is not a very, a place. It stinks. And the lot of efforts I think are required to be made in order to achieve the wishes of the Parliament and the lawmakers and the Honorable Supreme Court, which have repeatedly reminded us. Now, if I emphasize what Supreme Court has said on 11/11/1997, they said, we request National Human Rights Commission to be involved in the supervision of the working of the Gwalior Protective Home to ensure that it functions in the manner as is expected for achieving the object for which it has been set up. For this purpose, we modify the earlier order dated 29th of April and direct the district judge Gwalior would now send his reports to the National Human Rights Commission with a copy to the registry of the Supreme Court. The National Human Rights Commission, acting on the reports of the district judge or otherwise in the manner it considers fit, will ascertain the facts relating to the actual functioning of the Agra, Gwalior and Ranchi Protective Home and would issues the necessary direction to the authority concerned for prompt compliance by them so as to ensure proper functioning of the Agra Protective Home, Agra and other protective home. It is expected that all the authority concerned would promptly comply with such direction given by the National Human Rights Commission. In case any clarification is needed by any authority or by the National Human Rights Commission, it would be open to them to approach the Honorable Supreme Court for the same, and it would also be open to the Human Rights Commission to invoke the jurisdiction of this court for making such order as considered necessary and expedient for achieving fully the objective of this exercise. So these are the directives of the Supreme Court. National Human Rights Commission, following these directives, has come to this mental home, so that you may be apprised that how we are duty bound to ensure that these directions are complied with. Now, Mental Health Act has also come in 2017, rules and regulation framed. The state has now notified the state authority, board constituted, but further steps are yet to be taken. I would only request that kindly give priority to this area. 250 patients is not a small number. This institution not only caters to the state of MP, we saw patients from Odisha and other neighboring states who are approaching this center. Number of things have been done, but number of things are left to be done. We keep discussing all the issues for furthering the cause of mental illness and protecting the patient. The challenge, as I said earlier, the challenge is after they are cured, how to send them home. Half day home, full day home, whether they could be built up, how much time it would require, vocationalization, how they can be trained to earn the livelihood so that they may become a protective part of the society rather than a liability, so that even the family may come back and take them home. With these few words, I express my gratitude to the state authorities, the state of MP, who have organized this workshop and have given us warm welcome. Since yesterday, we are enjoying the hospitality of the state. We are also trying to perform our duties under the direction of the Supreme Court. With this word, I wish all the very best to this mental health institution and to see that there is huge improvement in the days to come. Thank you.
What a knowledgeable speech, sir. We came to know few very important informations. हमें मानसिक व्याधियों से जूझते हुए लोगों के अधिकारों के बारे में आपके वक्तव्य से एक महत्वपूर्ण जानकारी मिली. As all of you know, we are glad to have amongst us chief guest of today's workshop, the chairperson, National Human Rights Commission, Honorable Justice Mr. Arun Mishra ji. I would like to invite Sir to please address the gathering with his words. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause. Thank you. Welcome, sir.
My esteemed colleague, Justice Mittal, Shri Rajiv Jain, Shri D.K. Singh, Secretary General, Shri Ken Narayan Singh, Principal District Judge Gwalior, Shri Sudam P. Khade, Commissioner Health, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Pratik Hazela, Principal Secretary Social Welfare and Disabled Welfare Department, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Dr. Atul Goyal, Director General Health Services, Dr. Katima Murthy, who is joined online, Shri Ashish Saxena, Divisional Commissioner, collector, other officials, police, general administration, president of IMA, other doctors, ladies and gentlemen present here. I first thank my esteemed colleague, Justice Mittal, who fixed this visit to mental hospital. Then all of us thought, being important subject, we should also accompany him for the purpose of inspection and doing the needful. Subject is being looked after by him. As we know, mental ailment is considered to be still stigma. People have a general tendency to look down that he's not mentally well aged, as if he's not human, he's a different class. Most unfortunate part of our building of the society as well as our failure of welfare agencies, including, I would say, all of us, that we have not been able to achieve this, that these persons who are suffering with these ailments, mental ailments, are human and have human rights, equal human rights as that of us. We are better placed to enjoy them as compared to them. So it becomes our duty, our pious duty being human, if we are human, to protect the rights of these incumbents who do not understand sometimes what are their rights. They are being deprived of not only the company of the family, but society in general is not accepting, community in general is not accepting them and mixing up with them. This is a serious issue for all of us, this is not the question of only mental hospital of Ranchi, Gwalior or that of Agra. This is a question of changing the mindset of all of us. Until we are able to change this mindset of all of us, I feel that, be that there is 17 Act or 22 Act or any other Act, if it remains on paper without implementation, its expectations remains on paper, constitutional provision remains on paper and dead letter, not being implemented, then it is a failure of not only of rule of law. Such statutory mockery is injurious to rule of law and democracy itself. I'm talking of democracy, you will consider that how democracy is involved in it. Democracy is bundle of rights of the person which they enjoy in the country. Here, if we are not able to satisfy the rights of a section or class of the person of the society, definitely it is injurious to the law, and injury to law is injurious to the democracy itself. I'm a little worried whether time has come to make a provision to enforce the family members to take the persons back from the mental hospital. I'm told out of 200, 100% patients are fit mental state, are in fit mental state to go back. There are no takers. Families are being called, but nobody is turning up to take them back. What are the reasons for this? We have to realize and educate. One may be fear, but that is not the end of it. Fear is not they are ultimately your family. The greed. It's the failure to provide the maintenance. Not permitting them to enjoy the property to which they are entitled, shelter they are entitled. People feel that they have left the incumbent in the mental asylum. The society's obligation, yes, government's obligation, yes, to look after when the family fails. But I feel that time has come when we have to think it seriously, this teacher is here, that we compel these parents, how to compel these families, family members, sons, as the case may be, or any other person in the family who is in possession of the property and enjoying it, and depriving at the same time source of that kind of land, etc., to these persons. They should be liable, and this liability should be enforced legally. Because not taking the 100 persons after being fit and being continuously requested by mental asylum authorities, doctors, is really shocking and surprising where we have reached in the matter of our understanding of human rights and respecting them. 2017 Act is now I am told today. Yes, I am happy that positivity is there now. We are also late. I blame ourselves also. Being supervisor of this hospital, we should have ensured that committees are in place in 2017 themselves. We are coming in 2022, so we cannot blame the government for the delay. We have to blame ourselves first. But let us now not pass blame game on each other. Let us work together. The statutory objective, constitutional objective, human rights we are discussing. Parents Patria, Supreme Court, I issued these directions which are binding on all of us. So let us do our pious duty now, though belatedly, but it is to be done in right spirit and in all with sense of urgency. I feel that a lot of money has been allocated for these mental hospitals, asylums. And I feel that a lot of long-term planning is required to be done for these mental hospitals. Money is there. Future requirement for next 20-25 years should be considered while erecting civil structure, hospital. And when you have long-term stay, Dr. Moga was Dean of the Medical College. I was shocked to see Dr. Moga, doctor, is also a doctor in mental asylum for 17 years. Nobody is there in the family, and she is in the mental asylum. She came to me. She was speaking chaste English. And if we feel that there is any difference between them and us, rather we are a mental patient, I feel that. If we are not able to talk to them at their equilibrium, then it is our failure. Being in fit state of mind, why we should not give them love and affection. This society's obligation, ultimately. Why they should be in mental asylum for 17 years? Anybody? Are we failing in our duties somewhere? Families of any other society or community or what is maybe that our social welfare is government welfare state. Why they should be, these long-term stays should be in a dormitory. In case of long-term stay is necessary, why it should be in dormitory? Why it should be in groups? Why cannot we provide better spaces to them? All these plannings have to be done by all of you, government officials first. Money is there, we are there to help you out, we are there to ensure that whatever you feel can be done, we'll ensure that it is done by all of us together. It's not that the blame game for which we have come here, it is for the improvement, how and in what manner we can deliver the best to all of these, not only these social awareness, knowledge, and particularly with the help of district legal aid services committees, authorities. We can spread literacy also with respect to these kind of elements, which is absolutely necessary, not only to family members, but that for accepting these persons back in the community to permit them to lead normal life. We are feeling somewhere, let us search our heart out and let us do something which we can feel that by flight of our imagination, I feel that all the authorities can do whatever they feel should be paradise and you can implement them. This lies with the authorities. You are not only visionary, you make the plan, you provide their goods, and then implement. You dream in the day and try to complete. You are trying to complete all these dreams by your hard work. For that, you have to be complimented. I request you to dream in this field also. Implement those dreams, daydreams, by your hard work and hard work which you are doing in several fields. Do something for this class. Do something for this discarded section of the society. Let us accept them. Accept them with love and affection and care which they deserve and require. So let us deliberate upon it, how we can improve, how we can make the planning, how we can spend the money for future, how we can provide better food, better spaces, even air-conditioned dormitories. There is no dearth of money. For at least for these patients, there should not be any dearth of money. They require special treatment, better food. I'm not giving that you are not giving them good food. You are giving them very good food, replete calories. But still, something better can be provided. This is our obligation to these fellows. So let us see and try in this field what best we can do and ponder on it. I invite the suggestions of all of you who are here and spend your valuable time. Your presence here itself indicate that you are quite alive. All of you are quite alive towards this human aspect and human right of these kinds of patients who require our full support and dedication. And I regret that you have taken this step. I beg apologies from all of you for delayed steps which are taken. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now it's time for a tea break. We will resume after 15 minutes. Thank you.